Hello everyone, Carrington here from Open Heart Games, and I'm joined today by several folks today. We're going to have a big group as we are beginning this next chapter, part 2, as we're venturing into part 2 of the Tyranny of Dragons, which is referred to as the Rise of Tiamat. One of the big things that happens in Rise of Tiamat is that there is a council in Waterdeep that kind of acts as a large quest giver. And they have various different things that each council member is interested in. They all have their own fleshed out bios and personalities and whatnot. And what I wanted to do today was to help bring some life to, and there's another one of our council members, is to bring some life to those council members. And so I have asked several fellow game masters and who are going to be starring as members of this council, and I'm very pleased to have those folks joining us today. I am going to just real quick adjust something so that we can
What
fit
are you adjusting?
the size of this so that because right now it's a little strange. So apologize.
He's adjusting DM hack.
Yeah, right. He's got to give other people access.
Right.
Yep. Absolutely. That's exactly what we're doing.
So that the dice roll the way he wants them to.
Let's see if that works.
Yeah, he's got that always roll, 15 or above button on his computer.
You know me, just a GM hacking away.
That's right. He always rolls behind the screen. You never know what really is the roll.
He
Hello
really
there.
just decides the die doesn't actually matter.
He just picks up a D12 and rolls it because
It sounds
D12
heavy.
Because
D12s have no love.
yeah,
And then he announces the number that he wants. So
it's let's see. I think I could name 3 uses for it. Rolling a barbarian's hit die, rolling a barbarian's damage with a great axe, and witch bolt. The end.
This ends the lecture.
This thus ends the lecture. Yes, very very good, very good. I'm also going to make, again, as I'm enabling, real quick our GM hacks, I guess is what we're calling it now. I'm going to add just a quick thing to kind of pop everyone who is a council member up to the top, so that way we have them at the top and the party underneath. So give me just a moment, because I had forgotten
that hierarchy here.
Just so that way the council is the council is I guess in this case above the party. Not actually. What was you feel slighted?
I have been summoned.
All right. So
Maybe when they're talking, Carrington, maybe you could show like their picture, if that's possible.
I will absolutely do that. Yes, in chat I will. Actually, no, there aren't any pictures. There doesn't include many pictures in the module. There are a couple.
Oh, really?
Like Remy has a picture, but Onthar Froome does have a picture, but Conrad Braunanvil does not. But he's a dwarf. Yeah, not everyone got one. Well, I got it. Daggelt Neverember never got one either. But, they never remember him. But, Alright, anyways. So, I guess let's start with introducing our guest stars. Thank you so much for joining us, wonderful guest stars. We did have one guest who was unable to join us tonight. They would have been playing as King Melandrarch. However, they had a scheduling conflict and couldn't make it. I hope that they are able to join us in the near future, as I think that they will be excellent for that role as well. But without further ado, and further just going further away. Anyways, let's go ahead and start with council member Connor Braunenville that's what you're labeled as. But please go ahead and introduce who you are before we introduce the actual council.
Hi, I'm Ryan, and I'm gonna be playing Conrad Bronanvil, the classic taciturn dwarf. So.
Excellent. And Ontharf Room?
My name's Daryl, longtime DM, sometimes player, and I will be playing Ontharf Room, the righteous man of the Order of the Gauntlet, here to question your righteousness and dedication.
Excellent. And is it Ramalia? Is that what we're going with?
Romalia.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'm Romalia Haventree. And this is J.K. Miles, otherwise known as Pip. I'm playing both parties tonight, but Pip doesn't say a whole lot, so not in the meeting.
And as we do have several voices, what I'm going to ask that each person do, just to those who are listening at home and may not be able to see or may not know all of our voices immediately, I'm going to have each person say, either at the beginning of when you start talking, or preferably when you start talking, or at the end. It's going to feel a little artificial. Just go ahead and say, Conrad Bronanvil or Ambassador Bronanvil says, and so on and so forth. And so I'll say, like, Daggelt Neverember says X, and then looks over to Remy Haventree and says Y, and so on and so forth. And I'll probably call on people and say, hey, how does this particular NPC or this particular player character feel about that? And we'll kind of go from there. So, one thing we always try to start with like a quick news thing before we jump into playing D&D. So there was a pretty cool thing that happened. As you all know, I'm very excited for Spelljammer because I think the Spelljammer is really neat. And I think that like it fits my style of Dungeons and Dragons, where it's just kind of like can have serious moments, but there's a lot of silly stuff to it, and also you can just like play random nonsensical characters all together, and for some reason it makes sense. So they released on D&D Beyond. You can get it for free right now. The beginning adventure, right? Join Spelljammer Academy. As long as you have a D&D Beyond account, it's absolutely free, and it is it's a full module for level 1 characters, and it's available right now. I have read through like the first little part of it, background, overview, and then like the part 1. The thing that they did that's really cool is they kind of like because there's always that awkward like you meet in a tavern. They dismissed with that. And I'm not going to spoil how they did that, but they basically just kind of like throw the players directly into the action and then allow them to like introduce their characters later. And they do it in a very creative way. But I'll leave that for you to discover on your own. So, I guess on with the show. So the party, here is our map of the Forgotten Realms. And the party, what was that?
Gonna let us introduce ourselves?
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, we can I guess go ahead, and since it is part 2, yeah, we should absolutely go ahead and introduce the rest of the party, since we've introduced the rest of the council before getting into that. But yes, we'll start with Baylor.
Oh, well, hello. My name is Baylor. I'm just a kind of slow barbarian. Just butting along with the rest of the group.
And also the proud owner of a wyvern, right?
I don't know if at this point if it's proud, because Carrington wouldn't let me have a griffin.
Mistakes were made.
You were all wanting a wyvern until a griffin came along.
It's a griffin. Come on now.
My favorite thing is that a wyvern has better stats. Anyways, Mordock.
Yeah, I'm Dave. I'm playing Mordock, the Azamar Protector, non-healing cleric guy. I don't do voices very well, so sorry. Can't do it.
No worries. And last but certainly not least, but perhaps the smallest, Zed.
Hey everyone, BJX Mage here in chat and on Twitter. And I play the lovely little kobold monk named Zed. And I like to I like to think that I'm gonna grow up one day and be a dragon. Yeah.
Excellent. All right, now that we've introduced everyone, sorry about that. Let's go ahead. The party had crashed just outside. Had flown in a castle in the sky, and it had unfortunately crashed during the last session near the Mithril Hall. The party was able to escape, and as they were picking through to try and find some amount of loot, a raven landed next to them, beginning the next adventure, and has given them a scroll of teleportation. So, what does the party do?
Well, I obviously ignore the scroll and go try to get the griffin.
Well, the griffin has flown away.
All right. That doesn't seem okay.
The griffin has flown away, and it's out of... You can't even see it anymore. It doesn't even exist. So
I will mount my wyvern, and
Okay.
that is all. I am standing around on my wyvern now.
Okay.
I'm looking for loot.
Okay.
They promised me loot and a flying car.
There's... I don't remember a flying car being anywhere in this.
I love the initiative,
seen-
though. I love the initiative.
You've never seen the
What's the car?
Jetsons? They on flying cars. I want one.
Or
Sure.
Harry Potter.
Don't we all? Yeah, there's a flying car in Harry Potter. To be fair, also, there's a flying car in Flubber.
So
See? There's precedent.
Pip goes over to Zed and says, "Should we see what this scroll is all about?"
Yeah, I mean, sure.
Okay.
Since we seem to be the only two that
Yeah, it is
Only
from
two
it is
adults.
it is from Leo, by the way, because as last time the raven landed a dozen paces away and said, you know, in a crow voice, "Caw-caw! Leos and Aranthor sends his heartiest congratulations, caw-caw! Please use the gift that this bird brings to meet me in Waterdeep as soon as possible, caw-caw!"
Oh,
And
Well-
it's just a piece of paper since none of us can cast a teleport spell.
I mean,
Can we-
technically, I think Pip can cast it.
really.
Do you have to have a certain
Yeah, that's
Arcana
true.
level?
Huh? Think
Yeah.
so?
Well, I'm
Our
a
Christopher
warlock,
here.
so
Oh yeah, I'll look at it and see if I can figure out how it works. And if everybody's looking through the wreckage for loot,
Yeah. There is a. You have to make an Arcana check, and there's a DC.
oh okay.
Mhm.
I can do that. Oh, and they have some advantage on that.
It's a +9? Oh, no!
Yeah, I'm fine with
What
it.
part of DM hacks did you not get?
I'm fine with advantage. I'm also fine with.
Yeah.
What about that guidance? There it is.
Yeah, that would be
Oh
helpful.
my god! I was getting ready to say guidance, and there it was. All right, cool, excellent.
Yeah. What did we get with the?
I'm gonna click on the
Guidance.
D4, and then go ahead and roll again for the Arcana check.
In alphabetical order. Okay. Oh yeah. Now, how about that?
Hey,
Like hit the side of my head and like, wait a minute.
He turns the scroll upside down and it's like, oh, okay, now I can read it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. No.
it's backwards. Yeah, here we go. Excellent.
Here
You
we
look
go.
at it with a surprisingly with a 30, you're able to decipher the scroll, and you can start casting it if you wish.
Oh, what's the radius?
I mean, it's teleport.
No. I mean, of the circle, of the teleport circle. Like, can I discern, like, how big of a space? Do I have to get everybody together in, like...
They just have to be within 10 feet of you.
Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to ease my way over where Baylor is sitting on his wyvern, and Mordok is rummaging through all the stuff. I'm really not even going to give them warning. I'm just going to cast the spell when I'm within 10 feet of them.
So technically they're supposed to be willing creatures. However, this is more fun.
But they're indifferent creatures. They're not trying to fight it. So
on the back of the wyvern, Baylor is paying zero attention to what anybody else is doing. He's mumbling to himself, "We couldn't get the griffin. We had to leave, and then we stand around for 20 minutes waiting for everybody to figure out what they wanted to do. So I've got my wyvern back, but I wanted the griffin."
And then suddenly,
so I try to teleport. I kind of motion Zed over so that he's within 10 feet of me, and I just you just see him kind of looking around and doing calculations in his head, like everybody's within 10 feet. Okay, and then I just start casting the spell.
All right, and suddenly the Mithril Hall Mountains, the mountains near the spine of the world, vanish, and suddenly, you find yourself in what appears to be Waterdeep. In the middle.
Did the wyvern make it too?
It did.
Let's go.
And the wyvern is now in the middle of the city of Waterdeep.
Hey, DM, can I have stats for a wyvern?
Later, yes.
Okay.
And
you might need it sooner.
Don't forget our special friend.
Oh, yes, Valdis is here, too. Valdis is a black dragon. A wormling black dragon.
Oh, yeah, no, I would not leave
And,
Valdis.
suddenly everyone is here in Waterdeep.
Okay, where do we show up in Waterdeep?
That is a fantastic question.
Please tell me it's like in the middle of a church service and I'm on a wyvern.
It is actually in the middle of a government building, very close to the council chambers.
Ooh.
And you see that like people are looking at it and whatnot, and like someone walks up and is just like, "Wow, that is an amazing automaton, incredible." And then someone else...
Keep your distance, thank you.
Yep, and then someone else walks up to Valdis and like grabs the horn and it's just like, "How did you get it to look so real?"
Hey. Keep your hands off.
Incredible. That's going to be amazing for the festival.
How does Valdis react to someone grabbing its horn?
You can see
the wind up in the tourist trap part of.
Yeah, you can see that there's like you can see that Valdis is like definitely irritated and is immediately like ruffles her wings and like backs up. So, all right. So, as you arrive here, as soon as you arrive here, Valdis and the Wyvern begin looking around, and there's a sudden shift in the wind, and it brings with it a strange sense of unease. The feeling is akin to the drop in air pressure just before the approach of a deadly storm. The faint tremors felt before a landslide or an earthquake far, far away. You're not the only ones who have noticed. The city around you goes unnaturally silent. No dogs bark, no birds squawk, and even street vendors have gone silent as everyone looks around. And Valdis looks around as if she can hear something. like her head perks up and she looks around, concerned. And the wyvern, a little bit duller because it's not a pureblood dragon, kind of does the same, as if there's a scratching in the walls it can't quite find, or a rustling in the leaves that it can't quite see.
What just happened?
Gentlemen, something's going on here.
So I'm actually going to replace an NPC with someone.
Huge.
So Laosin, your friend, Erlanthar, approaches and says, My contacts tell me that this disturbance has been foreseen. It's been sensed across the Sword Coast. It is known as the Drakhorn, an ancient device sounding alert for dragons across Faerun. That great and powerful, perhaps even cataclysmic events are beginning to unfold. It is impossible to say what the sounding means, but the dragons can hear it clearly, and will eventually answer its call. Oh, my friends, what a terrible way to remake your acquaintance, Laosin Aranthar. It is good to see you again in good health, my friends.
Well, hello, Leo.
Pip rolls up the scroll and neatly and puts the band back on it and hands it back to Leo. Listen, there you go.
I'm glad that you were able to make my summons so quickly.
Where are we?
The fabled city, Waterdeep, the city of splendors. I really must show you around, but I am afraid that our time is short. There has been a council that has been summoned, and you have been, you've been invited. In fact, you are kind of the topic of du jour of the town. In fact, and
Now, when you say invited, is this like something we can turn down, or is invited in air quotes?
well, you have caused quite the stir, to be quite frank. And
I thought your name was Leo.
I had forgotten.
Or
What was that?
he has Tourette's.
Oh my. Alright.
I sort of motion for everybody to come forward. And kind of nudge Mordok and say, I'm not leader, so,
The council has been brought in light of recent events. One of the most recent events is the death of a masked lord, which has caused quite the stir here in the Forgotten Realms. It is.
What happened? How did it happen?
There was a. It was done. It was an assassination in public. No one. The cult has claimed responsibility.
Goodness.
Mm-hmm. Or at least members and factions of the cult have. And so the council has been summoned in order to discuss the threat posed by this cult.
So Pip gets a look on his face, and his nose twitches just a little bit. Says, where's the council meeting?
It's through these doors.
Through these doors?
Hmm.
Like, right now?
Yes.
He looks very nervous. Okay.
And I actually have a thing. Here we go. Boom. There's our assassination in Waterdeep.
Broad daylight.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody made the blood look like a dragon.
This cult
Wings
does
and
appear to.
head.
This cult does appear to have a flair for the dramatic.
Yeah, we can confirm. Yeah.
But yes, the council is right
See,
this
I
way.
think it's that lady with the horned hat in the left center. She looks.
Are you saying that it's the lady right there in the cult of the dragon regalia in the upper left-hand corner that's clearly flaunting the cult regalia?
Maybe, yeah. I mean, she seems a little out of, which one's different?
Also, she's strangely lit compared to everyone else.
Yeah, I mean,
Clearly a distraction.
yeah, she's just there for the, she's going to a costume party.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's it.
The Ren Fair's in town.
Yeah.
I mean, you all have regalia. And you put a costume on.
We're probably still wearing
Zed's like,
ours.
I'm just a kobold.
Yeah, you're probably still wearing it.
Well, probably not. Let's hope not.
Okay.
For the sake of not being arrested? No.
You got it. All right, excellent.
Yeah.
All right, so right this way to the council, he says.
You see Pip kind of like looking back the other direction and like he's gonna bolt. But he goes in, but he's the last one to go in.
Okay. And I actually have.
Don't worry, Pip. It'll be fine.
And Valdis?
Valdis will go in and follow Zed. Ah.
I'm naturally following from the back of my wyvern.
Still don't know why you have that.
The wyvern is waiting outside and not going
Yeah,
into council chambers.
Not happening.
Leosin will mind the wyvern.
All right, Leo, if the little one comes out here and tells you to let him go, kick him in the shins.
Not gonna happen. Leo's my friend.
I'll find a suitable stabling for your wyvern. The council should not be delayed.
Okay.
You see as you walk in here that there are 4 chairs set into a row. The middle one is a man, a middle-aged man with a coronet on. He is in he's dressed in several regalia and very good finery and whatnot, and he's drinking a fine wine and looks at the party and kind of whispers off to his side. And you can hear him look to I guess we can just real quick, as we have the 4 council members here, go ahead and just give a quick description of your character, and if I have a picture, I'll show it. We'll start with Conrad Brownamble, and go nuts, because there isn't really a description for him.
Conrad, you see a classic-looking dwarf in his prime, clad in his ceremonial plate armor, although it looks like it's more than just ceremonial. A stout sword at his side. He's got his long copper-colored beard plaited like a dwarf in some classic braids. He looks like he might normally be pleasant enough fellow, but he's currently scowling at you with the skunk eye being shot directly at the black dragon by your side. Not sure what to make of people coming in the company of a dragon.
Next up, we have Ontharr Froom, who does have a picture.
I don't have to do any work because there's a picture.
Excellent. And Ontharr has met the party before. I did not roleplay him nearly as well as Daryl.
When did we meet him?
You met him way back when in Elturel, as you were traveling from Greenest to Elturel and then to Baldur's Gate.
The part of Ontharr Froom will be paid by John Reese Davis.
Yes.
He's got a slight smirk on his face as you guys walk in, like he's trying to underplay it.
Very good. And then finally, we have Remy Haventree. Yes, please show. There we go.
Yeah. So the part of Remy Haventree will be played by a very young Gwyneth Paltrow. A younger Gwyneth Paltrow, and she'll be sitting at the desk. She's the one who called the council together, sitting on a kind of a raised dais or whatever, and she is not wearing battle armor like you see in the picture. She's wearing more of a dress, and even though she's a younger elf, I mean, it's hard to tell with elves, how old they are. She looks weary, very weary, and she looks up and says, "You are welcome here."
And I have another picture of just kind of the people. Here we are. Imagining Conrad Brananvil is the person who's on the far right, maybe. On the far left, maybe Daggled Neverember. I don't know. But Daggled stands up, and he says...
Carrington?
Yes.
Before we go any farther, do you want to give some background to those who may not know who the Lords of Waterdeep even are?
I'm going to let you field that one.
Well, my Faerun lore's not that great.
As I recall, there are several Lords of Waterdeep, and they are all masked lords. So they are. It is not known who rules Waterdeep, other than their leader, the leader of the Council of Waterdeep, who is known as the Open Lord, and people know who he or she or they are. So these are all. One of them is a Lord of Waterdeep, which is Daggled Neverember. He is also a very powerful, influential figure in Neverwinter as well. Remy is not an Open Lord either, nor is Ontharr Froom, nor is Conrad Brananvil. So there is the Open Lord, who is the person in charge of the city of Waterdeep, which is Daggled.
So the masked lords are wearing their masks, so we don't really know who they are.
No. These folks are not. No one is. But there are other people here who are. A couple. But you can just see, like, the 4 ones are in the front. And right now we're just going to deal with these 4 individuals, which are Conrad Brananvil, Ontharr Froom, Remelia Haventree, and Daggled Neverember. Daggled Neverember stands up, and he says, "My friends and fellow council members, please join me in greeting the heroes of Greenest. You are welcome in our council chambers."
Remy gives a wide smile to the and a nod to the adventurers, as if she's taking their measure, but also quite impressed already.
Baylor stands up very straight and kind of straightens out the clothes that he's wearing and puts his hands on his hips like a proud 6-year-old.
Antar actually jumps up out of his chair and starts clapping just boisterously and happy.
This guy gets
Conrad.
it. Yes. Thank you.
Good.
Thank
Con-
Ambassador Bronanvil sees Antar Froom's reaction and kind of grudgingly steps back and stands up and does the same and follows Antar Froom. Like, yes, we are all happy you're here. Let's get on with it.
All right, yes. We got to do the meeting.
He dismisses the minstrel in the room, and it's just going to be the four of them and then some other members of the council sitting silently, curious as to the proceedings, but are not going to ask any questions. You have been summoned here to address and answer the growing threat of this draconic cult. We are here to ascertain whether or not it is a threat to the safety and security of the realms. And as such, you have been summoned here to answer questions so that we might deliver our judgment and decide the next courses of action for...
I'm sorry, I thought you had finished your speech.
No. Daggle Neverember is never finished. And
That's
he says, to ascertain whether or not this cult is indeed a threat and how it should be approached and what resources should be used in order to oppose them. At this point, we know very little. And he looks over to Remy Haventry and says, and unfortunately, that lack of knowledge has cost many of us dearly.
How long has it been since my husband has been killed?
Days, I'm going to say. So it's still very fresh. Remy is probably still wearing black at this time.
Yeah. Definitely. I think she would say, yes, I think that we are aware that it's a threat just by my husband's corpse. Wouldn't you say, Lord Daggle?
Of course. Pardon my coarseness. I had forgotten that your husband's grief was far too near.
I think you meant a threat to the lands, not just to the people.
Of course.
All the lands of the Sword Coast.
You notice that he kind of, on his dais and on his throne, he kind of adjusts uneasily, as you can see that he is being maneuvered by Remy. Of course, you're right. But we should proceed with our questioning, with our line of questioning, for these heroes. Tell us, heroes, how did you first learn of this cult? And when did you assess, after learning that it existed, that it was a threat?
I got this one. The threat for me was that to my family. That was they took from me. I have exacted my revenge upon the cult and have killed those who were responsible. If they're a threat to the lands, that is not my concern. That is the concern of the Lords of Waterdeep. Okay, I'm just a simple man, or Azamar. This is no business of mine. I have exacted my revenge.
Indeed.
Pip speaks up and says, looks over at Mordock and says, "Surely you can't think that's the end of it, right? There, that's not going to be the end."
I've traveled all over Faerun, and apparently the manipulation of the powers of Waterdeep. Just look at our map; it's got zigzaggy lines everywhere. So it's time for these are the most powerful and influential people in all the realm, and they come to us for answers and for solutions. I got nothing but a shiny suit of armor out of this. My pockets are still empty. Said I've lost friends, lost my family. That this is of no concern of mine. I'm just trying to get home now.
Ontharr Froom begins to grip the edge of the table. So you tell me that after you do something like crash a fucking castle into the side of a mountain, and you find all of the cult, now you want to walk away like nothing's ever happened?
Oh, many things have happened, but there's nothing in this for me. You are the great lords of Waterdeep, and you come to me and my companions for help? You own realms.
We got here not by walking away.
You got here by using people like me to do your dirty work.
You know nothing of what I've done, boy!
Councillor
Thank you for sharing
Froom.
your water with us.
Councillor Froom. I understand that you are definitely upset by this. We do request that you, while you're in these hallowed halls, Master Mordock, remain respectful to the lords of this council, as we are trying, as lords who have come to this particular problem. It seems far too late. We are asking for your expertise and to find out what exactly happened between the time that you discovered the cult and when the castle was crashed. Clearly, we have many here who have lost and who have suffered. Good?
Yeah, Remy puts her hand on Daggelt to just kind of get him to slow down a little, just kind of calm him down a little bit. And she looks at Mordock and she says, "We can't add this Zamar has made a good point. We can't ask heroes like this to traipse all over the place for nothing. If not for revenge, he's already told us. His pockets are empty. If it's gold that he needs in order to pry open his memory, gold is a minor thing. We can provide that. Master Mordock, just tell us how much it will take for you to relay your story.
You notice that Daggelt
And I will
grips.
pay it out of my own pocket."
You notice that Daggelt grips his gavel as if he is gripping the very strings of his coin purse, and relents only when Remy says that she'll pay it herself. Master Mordock.
You could set the price. I'm sure the Lords of Waterdeep can be very generous, as their pockets are very deep. So the story is we met in a tavern. No, sorry.
I don't understand. Why is everybody laughing?
Long,
sorry.
long ago in a galaxy far, far away.
I couldn't resist.
Yeah.
Mordok, you might need this, and you find Zed has like snuck his way over just like hip height of the Asimar, and hands a little journal.
This isn't
And
Dragon Facts, is it?
It's not Dragon Facts. It's Zed's been keeping a journal of the entire adventure, and was going to provide a dramatic reading, but is very okay with you taking this. So he's offering you the journal.
Yeah, you're gonna have to fill in my memory on occasion. So I'm sorry, I
This is
couldn't
a
resist.
story all about how.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Oh, we met, yeah.
My life got turned upside down.
We crashed one little castle and
Yeah, really.
Council
We
got
become
mad.
famous. Really. Some castles fall out of the sky, so what?
So
See,
Carrington, I
I'm
sent you a message on Discord.
one message.
Un message.
Yes. So we first met the Cult of the Dragon in Greenest, as you are aware, where it was under assault by a blue dragon named
Lenny, his name's Lenny.
A blue dragon named Lenny, which we were unable to drive off as we had just started our careers. We drove the cult sacked Greenest, which we couldn't stop, but we did track them to their base, where they were collecting a horde. By the time we got there, they had already left. However, they had left our companion here behind. And I point to... I'm terrible with names.
All this?
Yes, thank you. My lord.
Well, to be fair, they left an egg. They didn't necessarily leave all this. They left some eggs.
Tell
That
me,
we-
is this hatchery, has it been destroyed?
Yes, the hatchery is no longer there.
Deception?
I believe it. I'm not deceiving, but we looted it.
Yeah, but you also ran away from there. And you
Well,
took
we
one
were
egg.
leaving. We were leaving anyway.
Sure,
We were on our way out,
sure.
right? I'm not lying.
Sure. Anyways, continue.
You're gonna make me go through this whole thing. I'm gonna skip the mushrooms.
Yeah, that's fine.
Just stick to the big stuff. Where we learned from Leosin at a later date that we were after, that we should trail the cult members and traveled all the way from Eltrell, where we had met whoever's doing the voice of
Ontharr Froom.
Von Froom. And then Arthur Froom, not knowing that he was who he is, went through Baldur's Gate and up to. Go on the map.
Is-
I can't find. Oh, there.
Visit the mayor.
Yeah, I can't find where the mirror of the dead men are.
Yep.
That
and,
was the Draggor Sphere.
so you found the.
Oh, that was way. That
yeah.
was north of. Yeah, okay. So after going through Baldur's Deep and both Waterdeep, Baldur's Gate and Waterdeep, we tracked the cult to the Mirror of the Dead Men and Castle. I have no idea.
Narratar. Continue.
Castle Narratar, which was an abandoned castle that they have taken over, where we ran into both Resmir, or we found Resmir and a Red Wizard of Thay who was working with him.
Named Ambar Jose or something Jose.
Yes,
Ambar
Asbar
Jose,
Jose.
Asbar Jos.
Burnt toast.
Yes, burnt toast.
Burnt toast. Great.
Yes.
Burnt toast.
Okay.
We found a teleportation circle in Castle Avatar? Whatever.
Yes, and yes.
Yes. And it took us to the village of Parnast, where the castle was. We met a another cultist that was
The Talus the White.
No.
Palace
Yeah,
the
what-
White. Yes, thank you. Who aided and abetted us in our ultimate showdown with Resmir, who is now no longer with us, and we took his dragon mask. And then the Cloud Castle crashed outside of Mithril Hall because the Storm Giant went insane. And that is what
Oh.
brought us here in a nutshell.
Well, the giant died,
Yeah.
and they were piloting the castle. So I guess if they die, no one can control the castle, and kaboom! And the
Ambassador Braun Anvil, the Dwarven ambassador, speaks up. It's like, it's good. You kept that castle out of the giant's hands, and it's nice bonus that it happened to crash right next to my home. Surely lots to be found in the ruins of such a magnificent place.
Yes, of which we got nothing, which you will help us with, I'm sure. You will be
Negotiation
Resnir?
champion of the year, might I add.
Go ahead, Counselor Bronanville.
Did I hear you right? You've put an end to this Resmir, this cult leader, this leader of skulkers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pip,
Go ahead, Zed.
Pip, show him the mask.
Pip kind of darts his eyes over at Remy and takes out the mask.
See, the ambassador just kind of curls his lip at this dragon-related relic. It's like, it looks like the kind of thing this cult might make. Tell me, you've destroyed this hatchery, you've fought this cult, yet I see one of them next to you. This black dragon accompanies you. Why is this with you?
Oh, this is Valdis. She's just amazing. She's like the best thing that has ever happened for me. I mean us. And she's so kind, and she's protected us.
Hand tipped.
and-
Got ya,
Continue.
says Baylor.
What?
Continue,
Anyways,
Zed.
She protects us, and I love dragons. They're the coolest things. I want to be one when I grow up, and
Easy.
I'm just telling the truth here, guys. Valdis is just a great little companion for our trip. She's saved me and saved several of our party members along the way, and she's just done good things.
Antharfrum's kind of turns towards you with the corner of his eyes and goes, "So what you're saying is that it's proven itself to you?"
Oh yes, absolutely.
Sometimes we can prove ourselves with our deeds.
Valdis
You see
looks
him.
at Antharfrum with just kind of very intelligent eyes. Doesn't say anything, but just kind of you can see that she's absorbing his words.
Yeah, we still haven't had a first word, have we?
Mm-mm.
Oh, no daddy for Zed or anything.
Ambassador Braun Anvil kind of quiets down, but you see him kind of muttering to himself. He's like, yeah, the only good dragon's a dead dragon. Till that time.
At that, Pip pipes up and he says, "May I speak?"
The council will recognize the representative from the Feywild.
Thank you. I used to think as Master Antharfrum thought. No, the only good dragon is a dead dragon. I thought this because the dragon cult destroyed my school where I was apprenticed, and killed my best friend. Took my arm. He holds his arm up, for everyone to see. And you can see that
Gasps.
the runes on the arm kind of flicker as he holds it up. As you could definitely tell there's more and more magic being poured into it. And he says, I never thought I would fight alongside kobold and a black dragon wormling. These two have saved my life more times than I can count. I have done the same. I say to you, all of you were adventurers at one time. You know the bonds that are formed in combat when an adventuring party goes out. This dragon, this kobold with my life.
Really, that's really sweet, Pip.
And then he kind of bows and steps back.
Antharfroom chuckles, and he's like, I think you misunderstood me. What I actually said was, you can prove yourself with your actions, that your brotherhood stands through, regardless of what you look like. I've said that they have stood with you, and that you are attesting to them. That is not a bad thing to me.
Okay, who was it that was muttering?
Conrad Brown Anvil, the dwarven.
Oh, Brown Anvil. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, all right. Well, if you just rewind and just change the name, then you can, you know.
At the end of your,
Because I need a chart.
speech,
No worries.
Yeah.
at the end of the speech, Braun Anvil will he will kind of like pipe down and give you a nod, sort of like
A respectful nod.
Right, a respectful nod, like agree to disagree, but good point. So.
It appears that our heroes, however unorthodox their approach and their methods, he looks at Mordok and their earthly desires, have proven
Brotherhood!
the council is not recognizing the representative from the Order of the Gauntlet at this time. And he
You have something in your throat. I find that
you can see that he's
helps.
you can see that he's flustered, and he's just like on to more pressing matters.
If you like actually cough that up, you'll feel better. Just like give a good show.
You can see Daggle just turn red, and he's like,
I just quietly put my hand over on whatever part of
Daggle.
Baylor.
Oh gosh, Baylor, thank you, Baylor, and I just look at everybody. I look at the council and I say, ignore him. He has Tourette's. It's okay.
So
I don't
It's
have
an
any
arcane illness.
so
We've been trying to cure it.
So I will say that I am rather disappointed that we were not able, that you brave heroes were not able to save the castle. Indeed.
Right, kill some person that leads the cult, get all the stuff, and save the castle. That's what we were supposed to do, huh? No one gave us walking orders, and now we're here, and you're disappointed that we didn't save the castle.
It was still pretty badass.
What he said. Thank you, by the way.
So much for the PG-13 version, huh?
Well, we'll move on with language from now on. He says, it still must be noted that it is unconscionable that such a useful resource has been destroyed, intentionally or through the fault of the actions of the heroes or otherwise.
Excuse me?
It is a loss, although unfortunate. And
I would like not to gloss over the fact that you said it was our fault that the castle fell. Here's the thing. Two things would have happened with that castle if it didn't fall.
the
One,
council
the
is
giant...
not recognizing the representative from the Heroes of Greenest at this time.
I'm 9 feet tall. It's hard to miss me. And I'm not going to have the blame put on my party for the fall of the castle. So, what I'm saying is, if it didn't go down, the giant keeps the castle and nobody gets to play with the fun things inside. If the cult keeps the castle, they do whatever nefarious things they were up to. So, really, the falling of the castle was the best thing that could have happened to the castle. Now, I'm sorry you don't get to play with the cool, shiny toy, but you won't belittle my group for not saving the toy for you to play with. Thank you, that's all I have to say.
Hey, Baylor.
Pip is not disagree. He's not trying to stop him. I mean, he's right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we're pretty.
That whole thing you gave, that whole speech you just gave. I would like to give the same speech to you, but replace castle.
Said
with
if
Griffin.
you mention the Wyvern right now.
Later. We'll come back to that later. So
Replace the castle with a wyvern, and
Zed, I will step on you.
all right, so so Daggelt Neverember says, let the record state that the representatives from the Heroes of Greenest and the Council of Waterdeep have disparaging opinions of the value of Skyreach Castle and its unfortunate demise, and I'm going to consider that to be closed at this time. If anyone has further questions, they can visit me in council later. Thank you. Ahem. Now then.
What direction would that be, please? For the record, what direction would your council be like for visiting you later?
Okay, at this point, it does kind of put it's like.
All right, I'll leave it for now.
So he says, we are grateful. I do not want to seem ungrateful for your actions in stemming the tide and stopping the council, or the cult, in whatever nefarious plans that they were attempting to enact. The council wishes to know, what were you able to ascertain are the motives of this cult? What have you been able to discern?
That's the worst kept secret in Faerun.
He wants to know.
They're summoning a horde to somehow bring Tiamat from the first layer from Avernus. Did you not know that?
He scoffs and says, impossible. That's
That's their plan.
Then they are truly mad. It would be impossible for them to summon such a... They do not have the power, the resources. They don't have the power, the resources.
Improbable, not impossible.
Antarfroom sits forward then and goes, well then, how do you propose they're doing it?
It is the ravings of a mad cult, Surely they will not be able to succeed in this. It is folly. They will not be successful, and they will ultimately fail. The problem that we must address is the raids that are happening up and down the Sword Coasts, assaulting merchants, destroying villages, and terrorizing the townspeople. Their ability to raise this Tiamat, this dragon that is imprisoned in another realm, is a fairy tale. But
So we give them some money now, we send them off, and what are we out?
Oh, so we're just cannon fodder. I turn around and walk away.
I realize
It's
we've
not
had...
cannon fodder, but if we're sitting here arguing about the resources.
I realize we've had our differences here today, but despite my friend's diagnosis of my conversational tactics, you worrying about the raids and things like that is perfectly valid. We gotta stop them from stealing things from people. But to be quite honest, it's like worrying about the pot boiling over when the whole house is on fire. We stop the bigger problem, the little things stop with it.
Remelia.
And they are working with the Red Wizards of Thay.
My sources had not
And
said.
you may want to talk to the Zentarum.
So as soon as there's the mention of the Wizards of Thay and magic, Daggelt Neverember's head just snaps over to Remy, looking as if like, how did you not know this? And I will let Remy take it from here.
How did they not know the worst kept secret in Faerun?
You know.
They were worried about small things like raids, dog.
Oh.
So I need a little background here. So did she know and keep it from him, or did...
I'm gonna let you choose.
Okay. She says, my dear Daggelt, we had knowledge the Red Wizards of Thay were sticking their fingers in these pies. We did not have any firm evidence. And I know how much you don't like massing armies and forming up troops without hard evidence. It tends to be a distraction, and it tends to make people panic.
He looks at Remy with like that very stern, I'll deal with this problem later, and looks to the heroes and says, do you have definitive proof that the Red Wizards of Thay are involved with this cult?
You'll, again, talk to the Zentarum. They have a red wizard, at least one red wizard named, help me.
Asbarajos?
Asbarajos was conspiring with Resmir. We got rid of, Resmir is no more, but we saw Asbarajos fleeing the castle.
Remy
Again,
takes
if you
bag
get a
of...
hold of the sorry, go ahead, Pip.
Remy takes hold of the bag of coins that she has sitting on the table. She tosses it onto Mordok. And she said, that's worth your testimony there alone. Your confirmation that Asbarajos is part of this conspiracy is a piece to this puzzle we did not know before. And yeah, she throws the bag of coins down to you.
The Red Wizards of Thay being involved, he says, the Red Wizards of Thay being involved with this cult is troubling news indeed. Ontharr Froom, what do you make of this? Is Onthar Froome there?
Anthar going once.
Oh, sorry, what? Talk of wizards made me just blank out. What was that?
The Red Wizards of Thay are involved in this conspiracy. We have confirmation of that.
Great. Yep.
Which means that the cult is no longer just a minor threat. If the Red Wizards of Thay are involved, then they may actually be trying to bring back she who will not be named.
Do you honestly believe that the arcane knowledge that these wizards have, do you believe that with the cult's resources and the arcane expertise of these cursed wizards, do you honestly think it is enough to bring back an actual deity to this realm?
My dear Daggle, do I have to recite to you the history of Waterdeep alone, or the Sword Coast, to tell you what's possible? A dragon cannot enter into the city of Waterdeep because of an ancient magic. Kelvar Blackstaff ruled from the tower here in the Sword Coast and affected things in all of the realms. Do I really have to say this? If the Red Wizards of Thay are involved, if they are murdering people in the streets in broad daylight, really, Aggles,
You are right.
do I have to explain to you what's possible?
Anthar sits up and goes, but wouldn't the gods do something if we had reached that point?
Daggle pauses and thinks for a moment. And then he looks at the impossible hero sitting before him. A kobold monk with a dragon friend. A colossal man wielding a cursed sword. A grave cleric Azamar, and a rabbit with a rifle.
My sword is away, but if you want it out for
No,
story,
it's
that's
fine.
fine.
And
that kind of makes us sound pretty bad, Carrington. Thanks.
what does? What does?
The honest
The
description.
You know. And he looks at all of those.
Just on your back slightly, like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Come to me.
Yeah. So he looks and he looks at, like I said, at this odd assortment of heroes, and he just says, "My dear Onthar, if the gods are going to do something, I believe they may have already done so." And he just kind of gestures to the heroes standing before you. What say you, Conrad Braunemvel?
I have a hard time squaring the reputation and the deeds that we have heard have been performed with these heroes I see in front of me. One wants to walk away, one loves the dragons, but truth of their deeds remain. There's clearly something about this group that defies rational explanation. But my people, the dwarves of the north, members of the Lord's Alliance, were committed to the common good, but yet I have yet to hear anything that we can face head on, strike out at, deploy our forces against. So I admit I'm at a bit of a loss at what to do. My people have suffered great losses in the not too distant past and are busy reclaiming our homeland. I don't see a clear course of action here, but perhaps this unexplainable group in front of us has more surprises yet to reveal.
as the head of this council, and as acting Open Lord of Waterdeep, my fellow council members, I would move I would believe that it is obvious that the adventurers have already demonstrated that they are able to take a firm hand in addressing the current matters. While we may not agree with their methods, or their influences, or perhaps even their company, we cannot deny that their methods have proven effective, however destructive.
DM, who are you voicing right now? Just so that I'm...
Daggalt Neverember.
Okay.
I would move that we deputize these characters with emergency investigative powers and a writ demonstrating such, granting them access to the coffers, resources, and sites that we deem necessary for their investigation, so long as they agree to oversight from this council. Any misbehaving or abuse of powers will be reviewed and the writ revoked.
Baylor's gonna look over at Mordok with one of those, it's a hard look to explain, but it's kind of a sarcastic eye roll with, like, are we seriously gonna consider this?
Yeah. I got my pound of flesh.
Before we go to a vote, I will ask this party of adventurers gathered before me, will you undertake this quest to investigate and further trace down the leads of the Cult of the Dragon? What say you? He looks first to Baylor.
First things first, I don't appreciate your sarcastic tone. Second thing, I don't make the decisions here. I follow the people that I care for. So, if they decide that your writ and your permission and your oversight...
Did I mention that will be compensated?
I don't care about that. If they decide that all of that is worth their time, with them I shall go. But should they not, well, I'm sure I can find something to entertain myself with.
He looks over to Mordok.
Well, the trail is cold. Castle's crashed. We have no idea where it was going other than north. So where is it you would send us? That you were kind of oblivious to what was going on.
DM,
Yeah.
is there breadcrumbs that Remy knows that she can speak
Remy
up
does,
before?
and there's also another another thing that we can there are two.
I think at this point, if she knew something, if she had a lead, I think she would speak up and provide it.
You know that you have information about where one of the leaders of the cult is. But I think that at this time you're not interested in sharing that with the cult yet. Or with the council. Like, You may say that I know information where one of the leaders of the cult is, and then and I will send one of my agents later, if you wanted to.
Yeah. So yeah, she'll look at Mordock and she'll say, "I might be able to help with trail. I happen to know where one of the cultists' leaders is staying, his safe house is, and I could share that with you, and you could pull on that thread."
Well, I like her because she gave me money, so very well.
And you, Kobold, checks notes. Zed.
Why do I have to check notes? Yeah. I mean, I've been with this group for quite some time, and if we're gonna go out and keep exploring, I guess I can do that. Not, I'm not too sure, but I'll do the best I can.
And looks to Pip as the last one.
Pip kind of flexes his metal arm, servos kind of whirling, and he says, "Till the last one of these dragon cultists is in the ground or in prison, I will be hunting them down."
Very good. Fellow council members, it has been so proposed that we grant emergency investigative powers to these adventurers with a writ of passage throughout the realms, resources at their disposal, and oversight from this council. With all of that in mind, how vote you? Councillor Bronanvil.
Councilor Bronanvil says, "I, the Lord's Alliance, will do our part. Find us something we can hit in the face. Find us something we can meet on the field. Find us something that warrants marshaling our forces, and we'll be there. We'll uphold our oaths. See what you can find. You're unconventional, but starting to like you. I vote aye."
One eye. Councillor Froome.
He smirks, sits forward, and goes, "Well, as long as they can keep going with what they're doing and proving themselves by their metal, then heck yeah."
Yay. Is that a vote for aye?
Well, yeah, in your prim little way, yes. Aye, whatever.
Baylor's gonna lean down to whoever's close to him and be like, "Oh, I like that guy right there."
Councillor Haventry.
She takes a deep breath. She looks each one of them in the eye. She says, "Trust in the bonds, friendship, forged in a party reminds me a little bit of my adventuring days as well." You. And she looks at Pip. "I will remind you that there is also my husband's murder. But you have the full resources of the Harpers of Faerun. All of our networks will help you track down this cult."
And your vote, Councillor Haventry.
Aye.
As I have proposed this, I shall vote ayes as well. It is unanimous, and the ayes have it. You have now been deputized as investigators of the Council of Waterdeep. A writ will be provided, and letters of marque will be provided as well to you. As you travel across the realm, you do so representing this council. Please be mindful and do not abuse it, lest it be revoked. But I entrust, based on your testimony and your character, that it will not be so.
No. Disintegrations.
Every fiber in my body wants to make Baylor ask, is there like a rule sheet or like do's and don'ts? Or...
Please do. Go ahead.
Okay. Final question. Is there like a rule sheet or like a list of do's and don'ts? Like things that are absolutely off the table and things that are like, well, sometimes it's okay, but most of the time, no, but sometimes.
You see Daggalt Neverember's face disappear into his hand as he begins rubbing his temples with one hand. And he says, Councillor Haventry, would you mind providing our guest with such a writ? Perhaps it could be written in crayon or something.
You know, I told her we needed a still drink here, but no, you wanted to stop. This could be so much more entertaining.
If you could write that in giant, that'd be great. Just saying.
She's already scribbling a list, and you hear her muttering to herself, "No rape, no torture,
No murder. Sometimes okay.
No castle crashing. That seems to be a sore spot.
Castle crashing is optional.
Killing cultists.
In case we run into another one.
Dragons.
Just in case we run into another castle. Let's try not to crash that one so I don't have to yell at old boy again.
One time I crashed a castle. So, with that, he says, I believe that our business is near concluded for this preliminary because this, I believe we've covered everything that we need to at this time. Would you agree, Councillor Conrad Braunapple?
Aye, they've killed a cultist member, leader. They've destroyed some dragon eggs. I think that's why I needed to hear.
A non-zero number of dragon eggs have been destroyed.
Yes, more than one.
Ambassador? You just see like a little kobold like perk his head up, like he has like an idea.
Yes.
Would a fact about some dragons maybe warm you up a little bit more to them? They're pretty cool.
Like, I know all I need to know about dragons. Shimmergloom ate my ancestors and destroyed Mithril Hall, and we've spent the blood of countless dwarves reclaiming it from that tyrant. I think I know all I need to know about dwarves. Let's quit while you're ahead, little one.
And Remy leans over and says, I do believe there was an elf, a particular elf, that was involved in getting rid of Shimmergloom.
the first time anyone's ever said no to a dragon fact.
Zed, I would like to hear it.
All right. Later.
There is
That's-
one.
Zed just kind of plops down on the floor where he was standing and just like doesn't know what to do with himself right now.
Nobody wants to know a dragon fact.
I'm sure we'll have a dragon fact before the end of the session. So, on Tharfroom, are there any more pressing matters that we need to discuss?
Sits forward and furrows his brows slightly, thinking. I'm really worried about these eggs. How sure are we?
How sure are we what?
That they're destroyed? I don't like the unknown. I'm not sold. But I think I've heard all we're gonna hear for today.
Councillor Haventry, perhaps you could dispatch a small detachment to discover just to investigate this, to discover if this hatchery is still being used or has been cleared out, as our friends have told us.
She spreads her fingers, and there's golden thread running between all of her fingers. She begins whispering into them, and she whispers a couple of words, and then she closes her fingers again, and she says, "Already done."
Excellent. Do you have any more questions, Councillor Haventry?
Well, I would like to take a look at the dragon mask that our Harringen friend is holding.
I would very much like for one of your, some of your arcane archaeologists to take a look at this artifact, to discern its use. Perhaps it has something to do with the cult's plans. Perhaps we can discern something of it. Heroes, will you lend us this mask so that we might discover its purpose?
Promise to give it back?
So long as we discover.
No.
So long as we discover that it is not overly dangerous, we will of course return it to you as it is yours by right of discovery.
Pip. Who's holding it? Is Pip holding it, or is Zed holding it?
One quick second. On Tharfroom, what did you need to say?
Oh no, he was literally just grumbling. He was like, ah.
Excellent. Grumbling heard.
Yeah. Yep.
No, Pip has it. Pip hasn't given it to Zed.
Okay, so he starts walking up with the mask to Lady Haventry.
Okay. So as he approaches, a pedestal like forms out of the ground, like the council chamber floor opens up and a pedestal appears in front of the council that you can place it on.
Okay.
All right. We will, in our next council session. Good. Sorry.
Just saying, he looks he looks a little sheepish at Lady Haventry, and then puts it on there and bows and back.
I see. Well, we will attempt to discover its purpose and its use in the days to come. Once we have done so, it will be returned to you after Lady Haventry's arcane lore masters have had a chance to discover its purpose and anything around it. Should it contain any deadly curses, we will ensure to notify you by Raven as quickly as possible to prevent you from suffering any ill fate or death simply by its presence. Hopefully it's fine.
It's fine. I'm sure it's
fine. With that, I'm going to consider this first council of Waterdeep to be adjourned. Heroes, go. With the authority of this council and all of the hopes of the Sword Coast and the people of Faerun. Good luck. I believe that you'll need it.
No pressure.
You notice that Daggett looks over kind of annoyed because he wasn't able to have the last word, and he just like goes, adjourned. And with that,
thanks everyone.
With that, the council is adjourned, and you're able to leave the council room. And you notice that there is a fifth chair, like I said, that was sitting there that is empty, where another member of this council would have sat. But we'll get back to him later.
Would just like to point out, Baylor really doesn't like Daggle, like quite a bit.
Oh, I mean, yeah. So the issue is Daggle's just a pragmatist. Daggle is trying to make sure that we're not spending a bunch of money.
He's also an egoist.
No, Daggelt is the open lord. Conrad Brown Anvil is the dwarf.
That's the guy that I was arguing with. I thought
that was the guy that was
the
upset
guy
that we crashed the castle full of treasure in his right outside his front door. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
he's gonna get rich off of it. We get nothing.
Yeah. All right. So now that we have let's see if there's anything else. So, after the players exit, Leosin or Anthar's is waiting and kind of pacing. There's not a wyvern there because it's been taken to a very safe wyvern pen. And he says, "I found a location that's safe for housing your wyvern, and it'll be kept there for the time being."
Well, thank you.
Screen wipe to two poor farm hands that are like, "Who said this was a horse?" And they're just like, trying to like pull it down, and then we screen wipe back, and Leosin's just like, "I'm sure it's fine." I trust them. But anyways, so Leosin is just like, so how did your first council session go?
I don't like the guy that's in charge.
Lady Haventry has told me that he can be a bit of a bore, and frankly, he can be a bit of a, well, she says some not kind things from behind closed doors. What was that, Zed?
There was a lot of yelling and a lot of questions and a lot of answers. And a really nice lady.
Yes.
Who
might
help us out later.
I have kept Lady Haventry, who you met in the council chamber. She's the representative of the Harpers. I work for her directly. There is all of the factions are nominally committed to stopping the cult. What was the question? Sorry.
Oh, so Pip kind of looks a little sheepish, and he says, "Yeah, fellas, folks, there's something I need to share with you. I feel like if we're gonna do all of this, I gotta be on the up and up. For a while now, I've been working for the Harpers. That's it. That's all
Aren't
I
we
know.
all members of the Harpers?
Not necessarily, no.
Oh, I thought we were.
Baylor is not.
Was it down on the road?
No.
Maybe not. I don't know. I'm confused. That's okay.
Laosin is a member of the Harpers,
And we found that dude. We found that one dude while we were on the road,
who's also
Oh,
a
that's
Harper.
right.
who was also
Yeah.
Harper, and we sent them back to town. We sent them back to Baldur's Gate.
And Pip, you're a Harper too. So you do you know Leo?
I mean, she's the leader of the order. I know her only by reputation. Not high enough in the Harpers to have had an audience with Lady Remy Haventry, but she is as good as any I've ever seen, and her reputation precedes her.
The factions right now of the council stand divided. They're all nominally committed to stopping the cult of the dragon, but none of the delegates have made substantive pledges yet. They are trying as much as they can to see what the others are going to do before devoting resources.
So they're going to use us as cannon fodder, as they told us.
Well,
We
the mistrust still burdens each of these factions because not enough is known about the situation. Many of them wish to act, but they won't want to use you as cannon fodder. They need something to unite them.
They need a scalpel, not a hammer.
The leaders need someone to show them the right path. Heroes that can lead the forces of the Sword Coast with certainty in the coming darkness. I believe that you can be those heroes. However, each faction is going to weigh every word that you say and scrutinize every decision that you make. Your every action from here on out will be under a microscope. And what pleases one group may anger another. It will be very difficult to make each of the parties happy, but you'll have to do your best. Faerun needs you heroes to guide all of these factions for the days to come.
Hey Leo.
So,
Who's who needed to talk?
go ahead, Zed.
No, it's okay. Pip, you can go ahead and go.
This is actually not Pip. This is out of character. So
Yeah.
go ahead.
Hey Leo.
Yes.
That sounds great and all. But we're all kind of beat up and pretty tired. Is there a place that we can go to rest up and have a little bit more enthusiasm for what's to come?
Of course, my small friend. Absolutely. I will make sure that you have a. I will find an inn for you to stay in, one that's local, and is friendly to the Harpers. Come with me. I'm sure we can find a place. So he takes you to. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna hit Google. All right, Google. All right.
Random in name.
Random tavern name generator go. All right. One. Can someone roll me a D10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
5.
That's fun. This one's called the Rare Pegasus.
Sure.
All right. So here we are at this inn. He sits you all down. He gets a room and all of this, and he says, when each of you have had the chance to rest, come down and we can discuss. I have some news for you that you may be interested in. And with that, it takes him a few minutes to kind of get everything settled and whatnot. You're able to go up and kind of rest for a few minutes, clean up, and then come back down. And he sits near the fire, and he tells you that my fellow Harper agents, including Remelia Haventry, have heard rumors that there's been a theft of the white dragon mask, and we have learned that the dwarf Verum, also known as Verum the White, has been seen in the trade settlement of Brosker Bridge near the Serpent Hills. We have been watching his safe house, and he has finally left it on an expedition. We have been following him far to the south, and we have discovered that he is. Please hold. I will show you where he is. Boop. There we go. Down there. That is where we have seen him. Yep. This would be an enormous... it would be an enormous win if we could capture both him and the mask.
Where was that again?
I have no idea.
I got
where
you
it
right
is.
here. Here we go. Shift click.
Oh, there we go. I see it.
Yep. I learned shift click is the best.
Ah.
It's awesome.
Serpent
Serpent
Hill.
Hills.
Mm-hmm.
All right. From Waterdeep, not too far.
Alternatively, he says, Leosin also tells you that the Sea of Moving Ice is also the last known location of the Drakhorn. No one can pinpoint its present location from the sound, or even verify with certainty that the relic is still in the Northern Sea. But we must start our search there. The one person who could tell us more is a tiefling sorcerer, and sometimes contact, known as Makath the Crimson. No one alive knows more about the Drakhorn than her, but the Arcane Brotherhood, of which she's a member, which is why we don't trust everything that she says or does. They have not seen her for 3 years. At least that's what our contacts within the Brotherhood have told us. She was investigating the Sea of Moving Ice when she disappeared. So my question for the party, real quick. What we're going to do is we're going to pick a direction so I can figure out which adventure to prep next. We're going to thank all of our council members, and then we're going to go ahead and call it just a little bit tonight, and we'll be taking a hiatus next week, which we'll cover here in a minute. So, which direction do we kind of want to go, folks?
Well, this is a railroad, so we have to go to both, and it really probably doesn't matter.
It doesn't, but you at least have the illusion of choice. Which one would you like to go to first?
So, how do we want to help Carrington, basically?
Serpent Hills seems closest.
Sure. Yeah, the other one is, just real quick, is in the Sea of Moving Ice, which...
It's cold up there.
It is cold.
Yeah.
Cold at all.
which is up here.
Up by
that
Icewind Dale.
didn't work. Yep, right here.
Rabbits are not fond of cold.
It's true. It's true. Which I will also reveal this. He says our folks in our contacts in Luskan have told us that Makath has not been seen for some time.
So either dead or co-opted.
Or captive. Unknown.
Yeah, definitely.
Just in a different campaign.
Serpent Hills first.
Okay, sure. All right, so we're going after Verum the White.
Or not appearing in this campaign.
Very good. All right, so we will do that next time. I will make myself a note. What we will do. So thank you so much for our council members who are able to add some additional voices, some additional personality, and some depth and texture to these NPCs. I really love the council sessions. I think they're great, and I think it's a great opportunity for the players to interact with a bunch of different NPCs who all, as the module says, want different things. So if you have other players and other campaigns or other GMs that want to have like some bit rolls, if you're running this module offers you a great opportunity to have that fun cooperative role-playing experience, and I highly recommend trying it out this way. Obviously, just make sure that you're setting expectations for everyone involved, and saying, hey, for these characters, this is what I have. Give them a peek behind the curtain, let them know the motivations and whatnot, and give them kind of the guide rails. And obviously, like, try to avoid it being too adversarial, because you want everyone to have a good time. So with that, we are going to take a... Go ahead.
Oh, oops! I'm sorry about the adversarial thing.
No worries. No, I mean, conflict is important in role playing, and being able to role play out good conflict is important and a lot of fun. So
I should explain why I mentioned that Pip has become a member of the Harpers. Since I'm playing the lady Remy Haventry, I didn't want to metagame or accidentally metagame or something like that. So it seemed reasonable that Pip would have, if Pip was a member of the Harpers, I wouldn't have to metagame. So
absolutely. So again, Counselor Conrad Brananvil, Counselor Ontharp Room, Counselor Remelia Haventry, thank you so much for volunteering to come onto our stream and to hang out with us tonight. This is a lot of fun, and I look forward to our next council session. As soon as we are getting close to the end of the next 2 chapters, we'll have another council session. There are 4 council sessions in total, and we would love to have you back. And like I said, I'm very much looking forward to it. Thank you so much for really adding some depth and everything to the stream. So thank you so much for that.
Yeah, thanks.
Awesome.
Yep, absolutely.
Thanks for having us.
That was.
I think the Oscar really should go to Ontharp.
Here, here.
Yeah, here. This is great. Fantastic.
I can always overact.
I think that was worthy of Critical Role.
I think we call it Shatnering in the industry.
Yes.
Just add a comma at the end of every word so that you gotta keep them guessing.
You're all wrong. That's not how Shatner talks. He talks slow sometimes and then all of a sudden stumbles on his words. And then he talks fast again. He has to keep going really fast and then he can't remember the line.
It's really good. It's really good. All right. Thank you all so much. Again, we are going to take a brief hiatus next week. Oh, go ahead, Mordok.
Is there disrespecting Captain Kirk? That's just wrong.
All right. Well, I'll leave that for everyone to debate on who's the best Captain Picard.
I didn't say he was the best. I said you were just dissing him.
All right. Thank you so much. Have a great week, everyone. Thank you so much to our council members, our players, and everyone. If you like what we do here at Open Heart Games, you can help us out in a bunch of different ways. You can give us a like and a follow here on Twitch. We'd also love a subscription because that helps us out with things like emotes and stuff like that, which you can get exclusive use to here. You can give us a like and a follow, a notification and a follow on our YouTube page. We're also on Instagram and on Facebook. Please head over there and give us a quick like if you like the content that we do. We also blog on our website, openheartgames.com, once a week. And we raise money for our local children's hospital, which is Roanoke Carilion Children's, which you can find right here, extralife.org/team/openheartgames. And we are trying to raise over $4,062 for Roanoke Carilion Children's, which will beat what we raised last year. So every little bit helps. $5, whatever you'd like to donate, we appreciate it. And we will be announcing our charity stream, which will be in August very soon. So be on the lookout for that and more event announcements soon. Thank you so much, and take heart.